Alright guys, welcome back. So in this video, what we're going to be talking about is how to choose the perfect fragrance for your personality. So as we all become fragrance, as you start to get into fragrance, one of the things you're going to understand is that fragrance is not just simply about smelling good for a lot of people, especially me. It is also important to buy and acquire fragrances that are a reflection of your personality. A lot of people who gain their favorite fragrances, who find their signature scents, they wear fragrances that really embody who they are as a person. They embody their scent profile. They embody the things that they like about colognes. And you notice the type of colognes people like are indicative of the type of things about life that they like. So we have 5 categories that we're going to talk about today. And I'll also have a sort of spirit animal fragrance for each of these categories to talk about. So by today, you will at least have one fragrance that will be a reflection of your personality based on the information that we get into this video. So let's get right into it. So the first type of personality type we're going to talk about is for the type of bold and confident individuals, right? So the traits of these people are going to be people who are more on the outgoing side. They're more on the assertive side. They like to make a statement with their appearance, with their look, with their personality, with also their conversation level, right? So if you're the type of person who likes to stand out in the crowd, you're always full of confidence, you're full of energy, you like to be more extroverted rather than introverted. And if you're not afraid to be bold, especially just with the way that you present yourself, I always talk about fragrance is your first impression to the world. And if you want your fragrance to be reflective of that sort of ilk, of that sort of bold personality, then what you would want as far as your fragrance is concerned, you would want 3 main notes, 3 main kind of categories, traits, so to speak. You would want something that is a little bit spicy. So you want notes with either cinnamon, clove, or some type of pepper in it. You want something that is a little bit woody. Also, so something like cedarwood, sandalwood, or vetiver. And then you want something a little oriental. Now, oriental is something that it smells a little bit rich, a little bit warm. So stuff like amber or vanilla, okay? So you want to look for bold, spicy scents. If you're going to Macy's, if you're going to Dillard's, you're going to any type of mall, you're going to any type of mom and pop shop, you want to tell the person, hey, I want to find something bold with something that has some spices, some woods. And then you also want to think of something that could be on the fresh, spicy side. Even if you want fresh and clean, you want to say, hey, I want it fresh, spicy, more so warm, spicy. You probably want something that has that note I talk about ambroxan in it. And there you will be able to say, hey, I want my fragrance to be strong and make a statement whenever I wear it, okay? Now, the example that I'm gonna give here is this fragrance from Dior. And while it is a mass pleaser, it is embodying of kind of the ilk that we're talking about here. Definitely, there's a reason why this is one of the most popular fragrances of all time, and that is this one here. This one is Dior Sauvage, and this one is the Eau de Parfum concentration, is the one I have. All right, so Dior Sauvage Eau de Parfum, it really embodies the bold personality type with the masculine, sort of intense notes of bergamot, Sichuan pepper, and ambroxan. So a really nice, fresh, spicy fragrance that many people love. Many men love to get it just for its components, its notes. It's one of the sharpest fragrances, one of the boldest fragrances, one of the most loudest projecting fragrances out there on the market. Definitely, people who wear this are playing no games. They do want their presence to be known, and they want their personality to be known. But for somebody who has a bold and confident personality, definitely they're gonna like this fragrance, and it's still standing the test of time. People are still buying it, people are still acquiring it, and I definitely think for the bold personality types, they'll love this fragrance. All right. Now, the second fragrance we're going to talk about, the second personality type we're going to talk about is for the person. We're going to kind of flip the pendulum, so to speak. We're going to go with the people who are more on the romantic and the more dreamy side of the personality type. So paint a picture of that would be somebody who likes to kind of embody romance. They like to kind of take life in. They also like to be a little bit more sentimental, a little bit more, sensual, if you will. They like kind of the more romance side, the more sensual side of life. If you're someone who's always in touch with your emotions, so this could be man or woman, male or female, right? You love sort of poetry, you love sort of literature, you don't mind watching rom-com, so to speak, or you don't mind kind of being in touch with the being vulnerable side of your personality. then definitely the romantic vibe would be a perfect one for you. All right, now something as far as the type of fragrance you'll like would be something a little bit more on the floral side. You want something a little bit more powdery, and this could definitely be embodied by a male too. I mean, it's not necessarily only about feminine qualities with what we're talking about, but floral fragrances are perfect because you want to think of something more so like rose, jasmine, floral notes like that. You also want powdery scents that are kind of more romantic, so you're giving off a more soft, more comfortable vibe, and it makes other people tend to warm up to you a little bit easier, okay? So the fragrance that embodies this personality type is this one here from the brand of Prada. This one here is called Prada L'Homme, okay? So Prada L'Homme is a sophisticated, crisp, sort of powdery floral fragrance with iris, amber, and neroli. So while it is more on the softer romantic side, there is some masculine tendencies and masculine qualities to that fragrance. So there it is for the male who is more on the romantic side. You do want to kind of have a picnic. You want to be more intimate with your partner, or a lady, so to speak. You want to be more intimate. You want to find something that's more on the floral, powdery side. And it makes sense why many female perfumes are more on the powdery, flowery, the more irisy, vanilla, sort of jasmine, type of fragrance, because those are typically the scents that they want their personality to give off. So even for men, it's the same thing. If you want a more romantic flower, floral fragrance, then man, you want to go with something from Prada, something from Valentino, even something from Gucci would be a good choice for you. All right. So now the third personality we're going to talk about is the more free-spirited, adventurous type of personality. So nobody wants to be around a stiff all the time, and there's a sort of component that people who are more adventurous bring, where they always kind of uplift the mood, and it's a little bit of boldness in there, but they're not always trying to be the center of attention like somebody who has a more bold personality would. Okay, but the adventurous person is a type who craves new experiences. They like taking in life. They like kind of sucking the moral out of life, and they have a bit of a wild side. The wild boys, the wild girls. The perfect fragrance should be as dynamic and as free as those people are. Okay, and with those fragrances, you want something that is a little bit more on the citrusy side and a little bit more on the green side. So a very fresh, sort of outdoorsy fragrance is not gonna be so spicy and woody, but it is gonna be definitely green and uplifting. You want your fragrance when you're a free spirit to kind of smell like somebody who's out in nature, taking in life's new experiences, okay? So you want something that's fresh and zesty with notes like lemon, bergamot, orange maybe, or you want it sort of on the green side where you have notes like grass, mint, and vetiver, all right? And so for example, these free-spirited fragrances, citruses are a great match to them. They're fresh, they're lively, they're full of energy, which is what these free-spirited people will kind of embody. Then green fragrance notes with like the grasses and the vetiver help be a perfect connection with people who usually are ones who like nature, right? So a nice green fragrance that could really be embodied would be this one here. I love this. This one here is Mont Blanc Explorer. Now this is the original, or you can even go Mont Blanc Explorer Blue. Mont Blanc Explorer Blue is a little bit more on that blue notes because of the C notes, so it's a little bit more watery. I like Mont Blanc Explorer for this because it is more on the citrusy side. It's got that lemon, it's got that bergamot, it's got that lavender. So a nice citrusy, fresh fragrance is definitely more on the green side, and it is really going to be uplifting for those of us who are free-spirited. Okay, definitely a nice outdoorsy, nice going out for a picnic, nice meadow type fragrance that I think would really be enjoyable for those of us who are free-spirited. And it's not too sharp, it's not too loud, not too bold either. Okay. Now, next fragrance we're going to talk about is for those of us who are a little bit more calm and a little bit more grounded in our personalities. Okay. For those people, you typically would embody someone in business, someone who's a little bit more introspective, a little bit more introverted. So the exact opposite of what a bold personality would be, okay? And then they also value stuff like tranquility, right? So if you're someone who loves to kind of have peace, calm, you love to have stability in your life, you're gonna definitely be someone who's a little bit more grounded and introspective. Your fragrance should reflect that of serenity, right? For those of us, we would probably want something that is a little bit more woody and you would want something that's a little bit more earthy. So when we talk about woody fragrance notes, we talk about stuff like sandalwood, we talk about notes like oak, moss, and cedar usually, okay? And then for those of us who also like the earthy scents, then you're talking about your patchouli, you're talking about oak moss, and you're talking about leathery fragrances, okay? Woody scents give off notes of sandalwood and cedar, which pull off that grounded, sort of peaceful vibe that many of us go for. You know, when you talk about a grounded personality, you want someone who's a little bit more calm, a little bit more mild-mannered in the way that they go about life, right? It's not that they're boring, but they just aren't so concerned with all the various intricacies of life. They kind of live a more simple, you know, relaxed existence, and they want their fragrance to be such, okay? And then with these green fragrances, with these earthy fragrances, you want, you know, patchouli or moss, which help you feel more connected to the natural world, right? So a free spirit is more concerned with nature and the things above and the higher planes, and then people who are a little bit more grounded want to be in touch and involved with things that they can kind of feel, they can kind of have a hold of, you see what I'm saying? So a fragrance that would give off that would definitely be this one here that I'm about to talk about. This one here is from the brand of Emporio Armani, or Giorgio Armani, I'm sorry. And this one here is called Acqua di Gio Profumo, okay? So Acqua di Gio Profumo is a woody aquatic fragrance with notes of incense, patchouli, and marine notes, okay? So marine notes. So it's a fresh, spicy fragrance with patchouli and incense that really gives it that earthy, incensey, woody, and smoky characteristics that I think for people like a calm, sort of grounded personality, I think they would really love this. This is one of the reasons why this is one of the more complimented nighttime fragrances, one of the more complimented male masculine fragrances that have ever existed on the market, all right? All right. Now our last sort of personality ilk, you know, for today is gonna be the person who is definitely of the more playful, the more fun side, right? So when you talk about someone who's playful and fun, obviously they're gonna be a little bit more on the bubbly side. You know, they're gonna be more energetic. They're gonna love to make people laugh. They want people to be uplifted. They want people smiling and people to really have their moods uplifted. Okay, if you're someone who's full of energy, if you're someone who always loves to be the life of the party and who loves to keep things light and fun, your fragrance should match that upbeat personality, right? So you're not bold so much, but you rather want to uplift people. You want people to leave in a happier state than when you found them, okay? If you're someone who loves to be sort of the life of the party, you're gonna want a fragrance that is fruity as well as gourmand, okay? So when you talk about fruity fragrances, you want something that is sweet, something that is juicy, like berries, peaches, and apples. So you get into that fruity note, you get into those real fruits, not citrusy fruits, but those real sort of fruits, whether they're red fruits, orange fruits, you know, green fruits. You want something like berries, and then you want something gourmand. So when we think of gourmand fragrance notes, you want stuff that is edible, like vanilla, caramel, chocolate, you know, stuff that you feel like you can taste it almost when you smell it. Okay, fruity fragrances are great for playful personalities because when you think about berries, when you think about peaches, okay, you're thinking about gourmand scents like vanilla, caramel. They're also fun. They add a delicious touch to your scent profile, and people just, they really want to be in your presence because you calm their mood down. You kind of uplift them. You kind of like, ooh, this smells nice. I'm ready to have fun. Okay, and a fragrance that embodies this definitely would be this one right here. Jean Paul Gaultier's Ultra Male, right? Jean Paul Gaultier Ultra Male is probably known as one of the top clubbing fragrances for men, and it makes sense because the scent profile is one of the sweet, fruity fragrance with pear, cinnamon, and vanilla, right? So a really loud, bold, fruity fragrance, and it makes sense that people who are on the fun, playful side usually are on the more bold side because they are not afraid to get involved with people. They're not afraid to let their personality shine, not afraid to let their personality show. And so people who are a little bit on the more fruity side, if they wanted a little bit more masculine, a little bit more bold, then boom, they can go with the Dior Sauvage and vice versa. People who are on the more bold side typically may not want to be overdoing it, so then they may like to go with something a little bit fruity. So these fragrances, these personalities can kind of get interchangeable, okay? So there's no one size fits all, but at least we've given you guys a blueprint on what to look at and what to look for. So if you go to a fragrance shop, you can say, hey, look, I want something bold, but maybe not a little too bold, maybe a little bit more on the sweeter side, bang, and then the person will be able to adjust your recommendation based on that. Hey, I want something a little bit grounded, a little bit more calm, a little bit laid back, sort of woody, but can we add some, you know, some aromatic touches to it, then they may be able to find something for you. Okay, but at least you have the starting point of where to ask when you go to the store, okay? All right, so in summary, guys, again, it's all about finding your personality. You get in touch with who you are as a person, and then there's a fragrance there to match you. Okay, so if we recap it all, again, for the bold people, for the bold personalities, bang, we got Dior Sauvage with a parfum for you. For the more romantic types of the personality spectrum, we got bang Prada L'Homme for you. All right, for those of us who want to have a more romantic and dreamy personality, and then you want to be more adventurous and free-spirited, bang, you're gonna come with this one right here, Mont Blanc Explorer. All right, for those of us who are a little bit more on the calm and grounded side, you're gonna come with this one here, Acqua di Gio Profumo. And lastly, for the more fun and playful side of our personalities, bang, you want to come with this one here, Jean Paul Gaultier Outre-mer. All right, there you go, guys. The whole personality spectrum. We have recommendations for all 5 personality types. Again, that'll do it for today. I appreciate all you guys who listen and tap in, tune into the channel. Make sure to subscribe down below. Make sure to comment any fragrance videos you want me to do next. And we share this video and this page with a fellow Frank, and we'll catch y'all in the next one. Much love.